I am Nu-Trix, and today we're going to talk about the System-8 sequencer. It can be as short as 1 step if you want, or up to 64 steps. It works in groups of 16, so you can have 4 16, and there's different modes on playback. There's a lot of, I would say, what you expect of a good sequencer. It's fairly simple to use. I'll show you it's really easy to use and you can actually erase it. But keep in mind that even people who say, well, I don't really want to record notes and steps, fine. There's something else that is interesting about the step sequencer. You can also use it as a motion control sequencer. So, of course, you can record up to 8 notes because it's a 8-note polyphonic synthesizer. So each step can have up to 8 notes. So it's pretty cool for a sequencer that is packaged with the device. On top of that, you can have 4 different parameters that you control in real time and changes for each step. And for each step, you can select different 4 parameters. So it's really interesting to use this as a motion control. So even if you don't want to use it as a sequencer for notes, it becomes a really complex LFO if you want, that it can have 64 steps before it loops again. Pretty cool. So let's dive in, you'll see how fun it is. We have this sequencer section. If we don't press on anything, we're basically just switching between memories, 8 banks of 8 sounds. So, okay, we have this sound. We have this sound that we can play with. We have this section here, which is basically the step sequencer controls, and then we've got different types of the way it's going to react, the scale, so the speed, the length of the note and the speed of the note. And then every time you move this, it will change in the window itself. You have the play mode, forward, backward, forward and backward, or reverse. Invert, that's a fun one, and random. And then you got this one, which is a trigger or key trigger. So that's an interesting one. Let's actually try them. Okay, so first of all, we need to record something. So there's 2 types of recording, step recording or real-time recording. So step recording, if you press step, it's waiting. Now you see all of them, they're actually recorded right now. There's something in it. So what I'll do is I'm going to erase. So I'm going to press edit and rest. You see there's erase under it. And in my menu, in my window, I have erase all. I'm going to press enter, enter to say yes. Now it's complete. Now it's erased. Okay, we get nothing. So I just have to press and then press play. So it's as simple as that. It makes me think of how the SH-101 works, sequencer-wise. If I go, I can just turn them off. Can actually change. It's actually pretty cool to change the pattern just by changing this. So it's really quick to do something with that. Okay, stop. I would like to have also rest and ties. So I've got these here, rest and ties. So how I'm going to do that, I'm going to erase it. I'm going to go erase, enter, enter. It's all empty. Now there's nothing else. I'll go back to step recording, and I say I press this one, but I want it to be tied. I press tie, it goes to step 2, and step 3 right away. Step 3, again I press on this one, tie, it goes to the next. I want to have a rest, an empty space. I put the tie, jumps one, rest, rest. So now you press it. You see these are rest. You see the white little section here. Wait, and then press. Now, what's becoming interesting now is we're just in edit mode and edit. If you take it off, if you stop this, we're not going to display this anymore. Now, if I want to do some step recording for also the controllers, Well, I can say I want to have real time. It's a fun thing to do. You go real time recording, press start, and then you start playing with the knob. Well, so what I'll do is you can. All of this has been recorded as movement. If I go stop, look at this one here, okay? If I'm gonna press on this, I'm outside. I've got the name. If I press edit, I'm gonna have step sequencer, tempo is 100. I'm in the first 16 notes. If I was in the second, I would see 17 to 32. I'm actually gonna press on this note, this step, and I see the notes. So it's a D sharp 4, that's the note playing here. Press on the next one, I see D sharp 4. Press next one, D sharp 5. So I can see the notes themselves. If I press edit while holding it, okay, do it again. Edit and press the key I want, it stays there. If I press on the arrow, shows me the controllers now. I see cutoff, cutoff, cutoff. Oh, there's actually here, there's two things. There's cutoff and something else. Next one is envelope. Okay. Filter envelope. This one is cutoff, only cutoff. And we'll move this to see what else do we have. Oh, there's a second one here. This one is DK. And this is only DK. So you have 4 of them, and they can be, each of them can be something else. Meaning they don't have to be filter cutoff point for all the 16 steps. It can be filter, volume, distortion amount, resonance for the first step. And then the second one can be different things. So there's a lot of things you can do with these 16 step or 64. Remember, they can be 64 long for the length of 4 of these. So that's how you would actually record and edit. And if you want to edit now, you can actually just change the value here right away, or you can also, this is the DK, well, you can play with the DK then. This is the release, this is the DK. Okay, so now I added another one. If I press erase, I don't want to erase all. I want to erase the notes, the knobs, step, only one step, enter. Step 13, let's say that's the one, I go enter. Yes is going to erase the step 13. So this one is now empty. So there's different ways to do that. By the way, if you press menu, you can actually go into the step sequencer menu, go enter. You have settings and you have pattern copy. Pattern copy gives you the option of copying one pattern from one patch, enter. So we can copy that, you go enter. So actually you copy from somewhere else here, if I'm not mistaken. The other one is setting. If you press enter, it's the default gate length. So it's by 50. But then you have this also here, the length. So let's actually move on this side and look at this. Okay. Let's say we have this. That's another sequence I did. Okay. Stop this. If we press edit and see this one at the bottom, erase and length, press this and you go into length. And this window now is step length. So you can actually, well, I just want to use one step. I want to use 16 step, 21 step, up to 64 steps. Let's say 64 step, okay. You're going to go enter, we're going to exit that. Now we're out of it, and now you see you have this window has changed now. You have these little square, shows you in the first one. You can move to the second one, and you see the window, the color change because there's nothing recorded on these. And 33 to 48, and 49 to 64. So basically, now you can actually switch and move between these 4 different groups of 16 steps that you can work with. Okay? Now that we have this, you can change the scale. Each notes are longer or faster, or shorter if you want. So you've got 8 of a note, 16 of a note, 32nd of a note, and then the same thing but a quarter note doublet, 8 of a note doublet, and 16 note doublet. And then you get the play mode. Now you have the forward, the reverse, so it plays in the other way. You have the forward and reverse, so forward and reverse, which is interesting. Next one is, they call it invert. So it's kind of, it jumps 2, go back, jumps 2, go back, jumps 2. It's just like a 2. It's like skip 1, go back 1, skip 1, go back 1. So it's an interesting way of doing this. But again, it gives you another melody if you want. And go to the next one, which is random. Say, we'll play the notes that you entered and the value of the parameters, but it will be randomized through this. So that's, I like this one personally. I find it interesting to create these new rhythm out of it. And again, if you have one off, sometimes you hit the empty one. And the last one is key trig. So that's when it's when you press a key. Keep in mind that the sequencer is polyphonic, so you can record up to 8 notes per step, so it's really powerful for that. You have the gate here, so let's say we start it again. Well, back here. See, so now it's really the length of the gate. Of course, if you have some release, it works differently, and you have the shuffle. Plus 128 and minus 128, so it's very it's interesting. And then you have the first step and last step, which is interesting is that you can press first and say D, or the fourth one will be my first one, and my last will be this one here. So it's just going to play between 4 and 9. Go back to forward. Say I put 8. I'm playing just after the measures. Actually, if you go back a little bit. So, first one here, and last one is here. Again, if I press this one here, so it plays between 5 and 8. If I press last step and I press. So there's many ways to create these really odd, length of, and you can create these polyrhythms with that. So it's really cool. I'm going to go erase. We'll go step record. Oops, there. Oh, my last step. This one here. Which is not music. And then let's keep the recording on. Then what's cool is even the effects are part of it. And then, if everything's synced in time, you stop this. I just have a beat on my drum, and this is just cool. The other variations now. Random, first, last, first and last. Well, that's it. That's the sequencer of the System-8. I find it really, really powerful and interesting. The only thing I would really like to have on top of what it is, part of it, is a simple way to nudge the steps, you know, because sometimes I would do in real time, and there's no metronome, or what I haven't find any, so I'm gonna play the notes. And then when I listen to it, I like it, but I figure out when I sync into something else, I'm actually off by, I don't know, 3 steps. So I would love to have an option to nudge the whole sequence 3 steps or 2 steps or whatever it is. So that would kind of be the feature that for me, I would need the most in this sequencer. But for the rest of it, it's pretty efficient and it does the job really well. So, you know, have fun, play with it, and if you do anything that uses the sequencer of the System-8, put a link in the comments and I'll share it so that people can actually go listen to what you did with that. So stay safe, make more music, see you soon. Cheers.